Anyone who's seen a few Bond films will have noticed that there's a fairly consistent pattern to them. A formula, you could say. I've watched all of these films repeatedly and identified all of its elements, which I will present to you now. These are of course generalized, and as with any rules, there are numerous exceptions. Now let's begin.
I hope we're going to have some gratuitous sex and violence.
I certainly hope so too.
First, the iconic gun barrel sequence. The circle usually goes to the bottom right, then back to the center, where it expands to reveal the pre-title scene. The pre-title scene always contains lots of action and excitement, but rarely has much relevance to the main plot of the film.
Perhaps you failed to take into account my hidden assets.
Some variation of the James Bond theme is often played during the action sequences of the pre-title scene. In the rest of the film's own theme song is often played in such moments.
Filthy habit.
It's all so boring here, Margot. There's nothing but playboys and tennis pros. If only I could find a real man.
I need to use your phone. Should call you back.
Who are you?
Bond, James Bond. Exercise Control 007 here. I'll report in an hour.
Won't you join me?
Better make that two.
The title song includes the title in its lyrics and is accompanied by a music video featuring silhouettes of naked women, guns, and Bond himself.
Just like the moonraker goes in search of his dream of gold. For your eyes only.
Early in the film, Bond has to report to MI6 for a mission. This usually interrupts a rendezvous with a lady, and his means of communication with MI6 is often the latest technology.
James?
Invincible's underway for Sydney.
Where are you?
Oh, Moneypenny. I'm just up here at Oxford, brushing up on a little Danish.
Little? I'm afraid you're going to have to kiss off your lesson, James. We've got a situation here at the Ministry of Defense. We're sending the fleet to China.
Uh-huh. I'll be there in an hour.
Make that 30 minutes.
So that means screw it.
You always were a cunning linguist, James. Don't ask.
Upon arriving at MI6 headquarters, Bond flirts with Moneypenny. Bond also asks Moneypenny for information for his mission, but this is sometimes in a separate scene. The classic Moneypenny, portrayed by Lois Maxwell, adores Bond, but is always disappointed by his half-hearted interest in her. The later portrayals of Moneypenny have been quite different, and this changing relationship will feature in my next video, so subscribe if you want to hear about that. Connery, Lazenby, and Moore would always throw a hat onto a rack upon entering Moneypenny's room, which they later retrieve upon leaving.
Moneypenny. Fairbanks.
Alaska.
No, Bill Fairbanks, 002.
Oh, poor Bill. I miss him.
Now, the man with the golden gun didn't.
Officially, that was never confirmed.
Where was 002 when it happened?
Beirut, 69. In a cabaret with a lady called Saida.
Beirut. Moneypenny, you are better than a computer.
In all sorts of ways. But you never take advantage of them.
Miss Moneypenny?
Yes, sir.
Oh, just one moment, darling.
Yes, James?
Why wasn't Scaramanga confirmed as the killer?
Because they couldn't find the bullet. Darling.
A red square with a spike through it.
Yes, I think it's a Tong sign. The red dragon from Macau. Ask Records to verify it for me, will you?
Oh, sorry, sweetie. You're off duty. File it till you get back.
Oh, Moneypenny. The story of our relationship. Close, but no cigar.
Bond then has a briefing with M, and often also the Minister of Defense, Q, and an expert guest. During the briefing, Bond demonstrates his exceptional general knowledge. The briefing ends with Bond being sent away to a far-flung destination in pursuit of a tenuous lead. Throughout the film, M addresses James Bond as either Bond or 007. The Minister of Defense and other military people call him Commander Bond. Q calls him 007. Felix Leiter, Moneypenny, and other women call him James, and enemies call him Mr. Bond.
007. At last.
Good morning, sir.
I think you know Frederick Gray, Minister of Defense.
Commander. Minister. Q.
007.
Have a little more of this rather disappointing brandy.
Well, what's the matter with it?
I'd say it was a 30-year-old fiend indifferently blended, sir. With an overdose of Bombois.
Colonel Smithers is giving the lecture, 007.
Before leaving MI6 headquarters, Bond sees Q, who complains that Bond keeps breaking things and doesn't appreciate his department. Q presents Bond with a car, watch, and other spy gadgets, all of which he eventually uses later in the film, one at a time.
One pane, unbreakable glass, one standard issue ring finger. Twist so, voila. Ultra-high frequency, single-digit sonic agitator unit.
You know, you're cleverer than you look.
Still better than looking cleverer than you are. Follow me, please. Now, new watch. This will be your 20th, I believe.
How time flies.
Yes, 007, why don't you establish a record by actually returning this one? Plus all the usual refinements, ejector seat, torpedoes, target-seeking shotguns to shoot down mobile objects. Why don't you acquaint yourself with the manuals? You'll be able to shoot through that in a couple of hours.
Just took a few seconds, Q.
Wish I could make you vanish.
The Bond films always contain so-called Bond girls or Bond women, who play an essential role in the story. One of them is an enemy, and Bond meets her while performing an activity for rich people.
I enjoy a spirited ride as much as the next girl, but...
Who's that?
The next girl. It appears we share the same passions. 3, anyway.
I can't too. Motoring and baccarat.
8 pour la banque. 7. Madame wins.
I hope the third is where your real talent lies.
One rises to meet a challenge.
Bond meets someone for information. Sometimes this is a villain who he must capture, but the villain dies in Bond's presence. Sometimes an allied informant is killed at this moment. Bond sometimes offers the informant protection from the main villain.
We wanted to question him, not to kill him. For God's sake.
Who's got the list? Tell me, who are you working for?
The key to this mystery is there. And I, Achille Aubergine, intend to find it.
Qu'est-ce qu'il y a, monsieur?
There's a fly in his soup.
I can help you.
I don't think so.
Let me try.
How?
Bring me to him.
Can you kill him?
Yes?
Will you?
Someone usually dies. Sometimes he separately meets Felix Leiter, who is never attacked, except for in License to Kill, where this is the basis of the plot.
Felix! Felix, how are you? Dink, meet Felix Leiter.
Hello.
Funny game, right? Sorry, I should have introduced myself, seeing as we're related. Felix Leiter. A brother from Langley.
In cases where an ally accompanies Bond into the field, this person is killed by the villain's henchmen later in the film.
Your colleague, such a keen climber, such a brilliant conversationalist, before he left us.
You realize he reported where I am?
I doubt that. In any case, no one's going to come to your rescue.
During his mission, Bond meets the main Bond woman, who eventually becomes his ally. In cases where she doesn't begin as an enemy, she enters the film as a mysterious third party who's unwilling to trust Bond and only helps him so she can avoid dying.
Whoever you are, you outside your welcome. Come on.
So you're a British spy. Do you have a name?
My name's Bond. James Bond.
The Bond women used to have unusual, suggestive names, although this was abandoned in the Craig era.
Who are you?
My name is Pussy Galore.
I must be dreaming.
I'm Mr. Arlington Beach, professional gambler, and you're Miss Stephanie Broadchester here.
I am not.
You're gonna have to trust me on this.
Oh, no, I don't.
A henchman more dangerous than Bond is introduced to the film by killing someone in an unusual signature style. Later in the film, Bond defeats him by exploiting the environment and/or his special gadget. Bond's gun is unavailable for the fight.
Remarkable.
इसे भी खत्म करना है.
Watch it! Come on.
There's a car chase involving Bond. The villains own fancy cars. If there are multiple chases in the film, each one has Bond travelling by different means, sometimes by boat, motorbike, or even a plane. The chase often causes humorous collateral damage.
What is this?
I've had a few optional extras installed.
Bond's car is destroyed as part of the chase scene.
Well, I hope you have a car.
This way.
Bond seduces the Bond girl. In cases where she begins as an enemy, she switches sides after being seduced by Bond.
No one can protect me from him. Not even you.
You do have a choice.
Only if you let him go.
I can't do that.
He has a secret lab on the top floor even I'm not supposed to know about. There's an emergency hatch in the room.
Bond returns to his hotel room and discovers that someone has snuck in while he was gone.
Oh, room service. This is Mr. Bond, bungalow 12. I'd like a bottle of Bollinger, please. Slightly chilled. 2 glasses. Thank you.
So that's what you meant. I hope you can trust these men. Just a moment. It's Tanner.
Yes. We've got the girl downstairs. She says to tell you she's sorry, but this is not her fight.
It isn't. Let her go.
She isn't our concern.
I'm disappointed.
The villain's base is an extravagant building in an isolated location with a small army of henchmen. Bond is captured by the enemy, who then tries to kill Bond in a time-consuming, overly complicated manner, during which time Bond escapes. The enemy usually boasts about his plan to Bond while he's captive. Beforehand, Bond is treated like a guest.
Bonjour, Monsieur Bond. I am Nick Nut.
Kananga, poppy grower in thousands of acres of well-camouflaged fields protected by the voodoo threat of Baron Sandy. And as Mr. Big, distributor and wholesaler through a chain of Philly of Soul restaurants.
Good night, Mr. Bond. Do you expect me to talk?
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. There is nothing you can talk to me about that I don't already know.
I could have shot you down when you landed, but that would have been ridiculously easy. You see, Mr. Bond, like every great artist, I want to create an indisputable masterpiece once in my lifetime. The death of 007.
Bond uses Q's gadget to avoid imminent defeat.
I enjoyed last night, James. But it really is death for breakfast.
The Bond girl is captured by the villain, then Bond has to modify the mission to rescue her.
Welcome to my world crisis, Mr. Bond. Even trade, Elliot. Gupta for Wei Lin. You can't fire the missile without him. And it seems you can't resist any woman in my possession.
What are you waiting for? Shoot him!
I told you. We're gonna finish this together. How romantic. Don't you realize how absurd your position is?
The Bond girl saves Bond's life in a fight. She also helps Bond to complete his mission.
I did it. I switched the tape in the machine.
She changed the access codes.
Bond is often assisted by a small army in his attack on the villain's headquarters. This was particularly common for Connery, whereas Craig has experienced the least of this.
Helicopters, we've been attacked.
Get our positions covered.
There's always a huge explosion somewhere in the film. Bond destroys the villain's headquarters. After seemingly defeating the main villain, Bond and the girl are attacked in ambush.
Should be routine from here on in. Not so many times.
Hello, what was that you were saying? Hello, hello.
Clap.
James, you still there? Hello.
The film ends with Bond in the arms of the girl.
Commander Bond, Colonel Lynn, this is the HMS Bedford. Are you there?
They're looking for us, James.
Let's stay undercover.
X. Bond, what do you think you're doing?
Keeping the British end up, sir.
Nobody does it better. Makes me feel sad for the rest. Nobody does it half as good as you. Baby, you're the best.
The credits end with James Bond will return. During the film, someone says the film's name in conversation.
For your eyes only, darling.
Whoever she was must have scared the living daylights out of her.
Bond goes to several distant locations throughout the film, all of which are interesting tourist destinations and are noticeably different to each other. Bond is usually surrounded by sophistication and beautiful women. The villain has a physical and/or psychological deformity.
My work has given me a unique knowledge of radioactivity, but not without costs, as you see.
Yes.
You can take your offer.
Don't bother,
and
Stacey. He's a psychopath.
The villain doesn't particularly care about his henchmen dying, and sometimes kills them himself.
This organization does not tolerate failure.
I know, but you see, I...
Go. Well?
Good. Right on schedule.
The villain is already extremely powerful, but aspires to world domination or some other global scale plan.
In a few hours, the United Nations will receive my Yuletide greetings. The information that I now possess the scientific means to control or to destroy the economy of the whole world.
Why did I do it, you ask? The answer is simple. Power. The power to illuminate the far corners of the globe, not for higher profits, but for higher understanding between the people of this great planet.
Now I'll discuss the elements of the Bond character. Firstly, Bond is introduced as Bond, James Bond.
I need another 1,000.
I admire your courage, Miss...
Trench. Sylvia Trench. I admire your luck, Mr.
Bond. James Bond.
Bond lets little fish go free.
Well, James, have you killed him?
You know me better than that. There you go, Smiler. Have you seen everything you came to see? Go back to your friends and report. Tell them the little fish I throw back into the sea. Give it to him.
You're going to shoot me in the back.
The gun, I mean.
Move! Your orders were to kill that sniper.
Stuff my orders. I only kill professionals. The girl didn't know one end of a rifle from the other.
However, Bond willingly kills defeated, disarmed, professional enemies.
I'm just a professional doing a job.
Me too.
I'm working for... Mr. Smith & Wesson. And you've had your 6.
For England, James?
No. For me.
Bond has a reputation as a talented spy and is recognized by his use of a Walther PPK.
Walther PPK. 7.65 millimeter. Only 3 men I know use such a gun. I believe I've killed 2 of them.
Do you know what gun this is?
Walther PPK.
Only one person we know uses this sort of gun. James Bond.
You just killed James Bond.
Is that who it was? Well, it just proves no one's indestructible.
You don't kill James Bond and sit around waiting for the cops to arrive.
We've convinced the British that Pushkin is a danger. They will send a best man, James Bond, to eliminate him.
Bond is an alcoholic, and his favorite drink is a vodka martini, shaken, not stirred.
I suppose I'll be able to get a drink here.
I told the stewardess, liquor for 3.
Who are the other 2?
Oh, there are no other 2.
Goodbye, Felix.
So long, James. Good luck.
Vodka martini. Shaken, not stirred. Vodka martini. Shaken, not stirred.
Bond has a habit of saying witty one-liners, particularly after he defeats an enemy.
They'll print anything these days. You know, I've missed your sparkling personality.
How's that for a punchline?
Bond deliberately taunts the villain, whose judgment is often impaired by the resulting anger.
Let's play for this. I picked it up in Cuba. I believe it's one of yours.
My. They do get around. But then diamonds are for everyone.
That is enough.
It's just a little sport, Miranda. Seems you beat me, Mr. Bond. Settle downstairs, shall we?
However, Bond himself is never disturbed by other people's attempts to manipulate his emotions.
That unjustifiable swagger. Your crass quips. A defense mechanism concealing such inadequacy.
My defense mechanism is right here.
I've got a little itch. Down there. Would you mind?
To the right! To the right! To the right! You are a funny man, Mr. Bond.
Bond is talented in almost every activity, particularly driving, shooting, and his favourite card game, Baccarat Chemin de Fer. In the case of anything unfamiliar, he picks it up almost immediately.
Eight. 8 à la pompe.
9.
9 à la pompe.
You seem to be unbeatable, Mr. Bond.
Here we are. The game is called Domination. I designed it myself. But my problem is I've never yet found a worthy adversary.
It seems I underestimated you. $267,000.
I'll settle for one dance with Domino.
So, do you lose as gracefully as you win?
I wouldn't know. I've never lost.
Bond is a connoisseur of seemingly everything.
Although for such a grand meal, I had rather expected a claret.
Of course. Unfortunately, our cellar is rather poorly stocked with clarets.
Mouton Rothschild is a claret.
Unusually small for Nymphalis polychlorus.
I wasn't aware that your expertise included Lepidoptera.
That gun. Looks more fitting for a woman.
Do you know much about guns, Mr. Bond?
No. I know a little about women.
Refreshing to hear there's one subject you're not an expert on.
Lastly, Bond seduces a lot of women, and they're jealous of each other.
Ooh! Yeah, nice moves. Just like Bond. He was pretty vigorous last night as well.
He did you? I don't know he was that desperate.
Well, he's not coming back for you.
Right. Now write this. The greatest rapture in my life was afforded me in a boat in Nassau by Fatima Blush. Sign, James Bond, 007.
This element will be discussed in greater detail in my next video, so subscribe if you want to see that. Until then, goodbye.